Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu ma vitvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 11 to 15 of chapter 3. Devan bhavayatanena,
Devan bhavayatanena,
te deva bhavayantu vaha,
te deva bhavayantu vaha,
parasparam bhavayantaha,
parasparam bhavayantaha,
Shreyah paramavapsyatha,
Shreyah paramavapsyatha,
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha,
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha,
dasyante yajna bhavitaha,
dasyante yajna bhavitaha,
taidattana pradayaibhyaha,
तैर्दत्तान प्रदायैभ्यः
yo bhunkte stena eva saha,
यो भुङ्क्तेस्तेन एव सः
yajnashishtashinah santaha,
यज्ञशिष्टाशिनः सन्तः
muchyante sarvakilbishaihi,
मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल्बिषैः
bhunjate te tvagam papaha,
भुञ्जते ते त्वगं पापाः
ye pachantyatmakaranat,
ये पचन्त्यात्मकारणात्
annad bhavanti bhutani,
अन्नाद् भवन्ति भूतानि
Parjanyadanna sambhavah.
Parjanyadanna sambhavah.
Yajnāt bhavati parjanyah.
Yajnāt bhavati parjanyah.
Yajñah karma samudbhavah.
Yajñah karma samudbhavah.
Karma brahmodbhavam viddhi.
Karma brahmodbhavam viddhi.
Brahmakshara samudbhavam.
Brahmakshara samudbhavam.
Tasmat sarvagatam brahma.
Tasmat sarvagatam brahma.
Nityam yajñe pratishtitam.
Nityam yajñe pratishtitam.
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So in the last session, we were seeing what is the sattvic approach towards this principle of parasparam. The principle of parasparam is an essential principle of life. You cannot escape that. You only have a choice whether you're going to approach it tamasically or rajasically or in a sattvic way. So essentially, parasparam means give and take, inflow and outflow. So if you take every transaction of your life, there is this combination. You're taking something and you're giving something. Actually, every moment of your life, you're either giving or taking. If you just observe what's happening around you, and if you also observe what's happening within you, you will find that you're doing one of the two. Either you're giving or you're taking. That's how your life is designed. That's how the very world is designed. What happens is that because of the lack of this higher wisdom, you are totally ignorant of all this. And with complete ignorance, when you approach life, now how are you going to really find peace? Because when you approach life in the wrong way, now that can really cause a lot of stress. That can cause tremendous inner turmoil. It can give many negative results to yourself and also those around you who may be influenced by you. So if you want to approach life in a proper way, first of all, you need to understand what life is with depth, not in a superficial way. So our great yogis, they have divided life, that is they have divided each and every experience of life, because experience is the unit of life. All experiences put together is your life. So if you take every experience, it has these two aspects. it has an inflow and it has an outflow, giving and taking. Whether you take the physical level or the external level or the physical level, or you take the emotions, you take the thoughts, at whatever level you are looking at, that particular experience will have these two aspects. So it is in perfecting these two aspects of life that you can perfect yourself, and you can also gain peace, happiness, and also external success in the world. See, that combination generally is never there. So when these two transactions are going on, now sometimes you need to take, sometimes you need to give. How are you approaching this whole thing? So basically a tamasic person wants only to take, he does not want to give anything, that we have seen. A rajasic person goes through this whole exercise of giving and taking in a calculative way, with a lot of ego. Whenever a rajasic person takes something, there is an ego of taking. Whenever he gives something, there is an ego of giving, which is what we saw, that's called kartritva bhavana. So a sattvic person approaches this whole thing in a very smooth way. The more you understand this in depth, you'll start getting inspired, and that is when you will be able to practice this. Mastery over this will come over a period of time. Don't expect overnight mastery. So the first thing which we saw is, he has put it in a poetic way, where he says, the virtuous who eat the remnants of sacrifice are freed from all faults. So he says a sattvic person eats. Sattvic people do eat. Eating means consuming. So they do take. So what is most interesting is, actually the emphasis of the sattvic person is not on taking, it's on giving. But Krishna, he talks about eating or taking first. Why is that? The reason is, there is a misconception about what spirituality is. People think a spiritually advanced person will never take. You must have heard these statements, just go on giving, don't take at all. Now, it's all nice to talk like that way, or even hear these things. But when you come down to practicality, you have to check whether that is possible. You have to take something, either it's at the physical level or at the emotional level or at the intellectual level or at the spiritual level. At some level, you will have to keep taking something. If nothing else, the breathing is going on, no? Even let's say a yogi does tremendous breath work, the pranayama, and is able to hold the breath, as they call it, the kumbhaka. Now, even when the person is able to hold the breath, that is only one aspect, which is the air element. What about the space element? The moment your body has a form, you are occupying a certain space. So to that extent, you have taken that. So if you really go into the depth of this, you will find that taking cannot be avoided. So, since there is a gentle misconception, obviously at that point itself this misconception was there, and now it is even more there. So, there is a gentle misconception that taking is selfishness. Now, Krishna, he smashes all those wrong concepts by saying that the virtuous people, that is the sattvic people, they do take, but they eat the remnants of sacrifice. Means, see, they have offered in a yajna ritual, everyone brings his or her ahuti, offering, and then offers it into the fire which is being built in the Havan Kund, and then the fire god shoots up and blesses. Now, having made their offerings, whatever is given to them, that's what it means by remnants of sacrifice, yajna sishtashinaha. So, whatever is given to them, they are quite happy with that, they take that. So, what does this mean? It means they do take, but their accent is on giving, contributing. So, you should absorb that principle. So, when some masters said just go on giving, what they meant was you focus on giving. The taking is going to happen anyway. You cannot survive without taking. So, let your emphasis be on contributing. The balance will come so beautifully. It's not only that, the second reason why Krishna is mentioning about taking here when it comes to sattvic people is that, see, to misunderstand this principle is is so easy. So, if a person tries to avoid taking and forcefully give beyond a point, that will lead to a lot of problems. It will become a self-torturous practice. Sacrifice is actually so enjoyable. It is so enjoyable that for the person who is sacrificing, it is not a sacrifice. See, when we use the word sacrifice, yajna means now you understand it better. But if we just use the English word sacrifice, it looks like there is an element of difficulty which you need to go through. But actually, if you understand the true spirit of yajna, the very process of giving will become extremely smooth, natural, spontaneous, and it will be done with such a pure bhavana that it will make you happy, it will make others happy, and you will also start evolving spiritually. When the bhavana is wrong, or you do it in a very limited way, with limited understanding, just forcefully avoiding all taking and forcefully trying to give, now after a while the bubble will burst. You cannot sustain such a practice. See, one of the things which is always said by the great yogis is that any practice which you take up or any system which you set up should be sustainable. And the best thing is if it is self-sustainable. Even in terms of finance, some people what they do is They take a lot of loans way beyond their capacity, and then they acquire something, a depreciating asset. Let's say it may be a car or whatever, but the loans are way beyond their capacity, and then they find it very difficult to maintain it. It is not about one-time purchase, but can you sustain it is the question. The same rule which is applicable at the financial level is also applicable at the spiritual level. So every Sunday we are having these sessions. What you should aim at is creating a sustainable system. Every day you listen to the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana. It should become self-sustaining after a while. Somebody, if someone has to keep telling you, reminding you, watch the Sunday discourse, listen to Yoga Sankirtan. Okay, initially that's fine. But even after many years somebody is telling you, do it, then it's not a self-sustaining system. So when it comes to the principle of yajna, parasparam is the key, the give and take, contribution. So when you want to contribute, now if you do it in an unintelligent way, without taking care of yourself, see, taking will actually create a base, a foundation. It will help you to take care of yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, how can you do good to others? How can you contribute anything? Supposing a person, let's say, has all kinds of negative habit, negative in the sense that which cause, those which cause a lot of imbalance. Like he is an alcoholic, he smokes a lot, he doesn't eat good nutritious food, he doesn't sleep properly. If a person is like that, do you think such a person will be able to be productive in anything after a while? All the productivity will go away. Whatever talents he has will all go waste because he will not be able to contribute anything, whether it's to the family or whether it's to his company wherever he is working, or whether it's to the society in general. He will not be able to sustain it. So the taking part is not selfishness. It is only when you try to take without giving, it becomes selfishness. Let us be very clear on that account. So when you take and use it as a means of sustenance to create a self-sustainable system so that you will be able to contribute better, then that is a very noble act. It actually becomes a spiritual action. Actually, it becomes karma yoga. See, a karma yogi is one who has purified his actions. So let's, for example, say a karma yogi is eating food. Now you can't isolate that action and say, how is that karma yoga? Of course it is, because he eats so that he can maintain good health, so that he will be able to contribute. So these are all supportive factors. The act of taking actually supports the act of giving when done properly. So when you take without giving, that is selfishness. When you take so that you can give, it becomes sattvic. It becomes karma yoga. So in life, you should fix your goals. You do have your desires, Don't have karma, that is uncontrolled desires. Now bring it to your control slowly through your sadhana, and using your ichha shakti, you can actually generate desires willfully, which is what becomes your goal. The different goals you have, go about fulfilling them. They will all create a self-sustainable system. They will be able to sustain you. They will make you very strong so that you can contribute. See, if you take a tree, what does it do? It keeps on taking nutrition from the soil. It draws water, it draws whatever nutrition it requires, everything it takes. And then what does it do? It gives shade to everyone. So one hand there is the act of giving, the flowers are there, the fruits are given. That is its contribution. Even if there are no flowers or fruits, it enhances the value of nature. That is its contribution. But supposing, let's say, the tree thinks, oh, taking is selfishness, so let me only focus on giving fruits and shade to others. Will it be able to sustain itself? No. Unless and until the taking happens in the right way, the giving is not possible. So a sattvic person meditates. Even when his eyes are open, the meditation process keeps continuing. See, your concept of meditation would be only when you close your eyes. That is one type of meditation. But as you advance in spirituality, you are in a meditative state 24/7. As Krishna says, yogastha kuru karmani. Be in the state of yoga and then do your karmas, actions. So that's possible as you advance. So what is this meditation? Why is it that a yogi is always in a state of meditation, whether his eyes are closed, whether he is talking, whether he is walking, whether he is interacting? He is always in a meditative state. Means he is connected to that infinite source. So when he is connected to the infinite source, he is taking the energy, the infinite energy from divinity. That is the act of taking which is going on. And that is how the yogi is able to inspire others. Why is it that in the presence of a yogi, in the presence of a master, you feel very calm? You also actually become meditative. If there is any negative energy, all that comes to the surface and gets released. Why? Because he is constantly taking from the infinite source. So, this process of giving and taking cannot be avoided. Now, how do we approach it? How to make it pure? That is what the sadhana is all about. That is what the sattvic people do. A sant achieves that. The first thing which I did explain to you a little bit in the last session is that a sant sees giving and taking as an exchange of energy. A rajasic person sees giving and taking as a worldly transaction. That is why he starts calculating. A tamasic person, of course, his views on life is not worth discussing beyond a point. We study the tamasic portion only to avoid that, actually. Little bit we study. More than that, there's no point in going deep into how a tamasic person will think. See, already enough problem is there. Now this will become another issue. So exchange of energy is such a beautiful principle. Last week I gave you that homework. So all of you would have done that. If you are able to look at life as a play of energy, now that builds a tremendous depth. See, everything in life emits an energy. This is what you need to understand. And that energy can be negative or positive. See, even according to physics, when Albert Einstein said E equals mc squared, mass is nothing but E, energy only. But this is talking about at the physical level. When you go at the atomic level and the subatomic level, it's nothing but energy. What we see as mass is nothing but energy. Now, the same thing is applicable at the spiritual level also. So, the moment we talk of energy, there is movement, there are vibrations. Those vibrations have a frequency. So, when the frequency is subtle, high, then that emits positive vibrations. We call those vibrations as positive because it has a positive effect on the mind. When the same frequency becomes low in terms of quality, not in terms of quantity, we're talking of quality here, then that is what we call as negative vibrations. So our great yogis, they the first thing they did was, supposing they are living at a particular place, they used to keep the place very clean. They used to, they followed certain methods by which they could energize the place where they are living in. Similarly, even the asana where the yogis sit and meditate, that's highly energized. Why, even the Yoga Sankirtan audio materials which are given to you, they are all energized. They have been specially energized. That is why it is said, don't share your sadhana material with anyone and don't use the sadhana material of some other person for you, in order to do sadhana. Supposing you want to play the same Yoga Sankirtan loudly in your home to energize the place, you can do that, but don't use your personal sadhana material. You have a separate set for that. You can procure a separate set and keep it for that purpose, because otherwise there will be a mix-up of energy. So everything in life is nothing but energy, and that energy can be positive or negative based on the vibrational frequency. So a sattvic person is one who sees this very clearly. So whenever there is any transaction in life, there has to be these two aspects, giving, taking. Then only the transaction can be complete. Now he sees this as an exchange of energy rather than a mere worldly transaction. So that is what gives him or her that spiritual upliftment. See, when a baby is born and when the mother holds the baby, presses the baby onto her chest, and when she feeds the baby, now the energy which it creates, this has a tremendous positive impact psychologically on the baby. Now medically, if you measure the temperature, what is the temperature of the mother, and then you create a similar kind of environment, which is what they do in the incubators. I think they use it in certain extreme cases where there are complications, where they can't leave the baby to the mother because of certain other complications, then they use that. They try their best to bring in the same kind of temperature, that, so that the baby does not feel the difference. But it's not possible, because even when you create a system like that, you are only trying to replicate the physical properties. But what about the emotions? How can you replicate the motherly emotions? The same food, there we are talking of the mother's milk, when it is backed by love, affection, that becomes medicine that strengthens the child physically, emotionally and psychologically. When the same milk is given without that emotion, that has a different effect. That is why our Siddhas said, Unave marundu, means our food itself is a medicine. If you know how to energize it and if you consume it in the right way. So everything in your life emits an energy. Whatever actions you do, whatever words you speak, whatever emotions you generate, anger has a particular kind of energy. Jealousy has a particular kind of energy. Love has a particular kind of energy. Excitement has a particular kind of energy. Forgiveness has a particular kind of energy. Every emotion, it emits energy. Similarly, your thoughts also. So when a person is taking, that creates a certain energy. When the person is giving, that creates a certain energy. There is a beautiful exchange of energy. This is what a sattvic person recognizes first. And the moment you see it as an exchange of energy, you develop that depth in your perception. You will lose all that calculative nature. The spontaneous emotions, the bhavana will be built. Your thoughts will become very pure. Because why would you want to create negative energy? It is only out of ignorance that you may create. But once you know, then why would you want to create that? Because you know that any kind of negative energy will harm you and others. First it will harm you only, then only others. Supposing you generate anger towards someone. Before it reaches the other person, it has already harmed you. Why? Because this is where it started from, no? So why would you give anger? Because before you give, it already has caused harm to you. Once you understand that, you will start doing the sadhana and you will start training your mind. You will release all the anger which is there. I am only taking anger as an example. Like this, there are so many negative emotions, negative thoughts. All that will start getting released. You will ensure that that happens as a sadhak over a period of few years. I am not defining the number of years because that varies from individual to individual, but you will not just simply encourage that. Rather, you will keep doing the sadhana and you will start the process of self-purification. This is the greatest benefit of seeing the transaction of giving and taking as an exchange of energy. So in our ancient system, it was always what we can give back, what we can contribute. See, just as I told you, merely taking is not selfishness. So it depends on the bhavana. Similarly, you should understand, merely giving, the act of giving is not unselfishness, or of course selflessness is further higher. We'll see that. So just because you give, it doesn't mean you're unselfish. You may still give in a calculated way, with a lot of other expectations. So then that is no longer unselfish. It comes under rajas only. So it is only when you give with the right bhavana, it becomes unselfishness. It will create the karmic surplus for you. It will wipe off all the karmic debts, and you will start evolving. So the point about karmic debts we will cover when we see what he means by eating the remnants of sacrifice. Why should the accent be on giving? That when we go deep into that, then we will see how, what are the different kinds of debts we have, the basic karmic debts we have in life, and how to wipe them off and create a karmic surplus in all those areas. We will see all that. But primarily, you need to understand this first, that giving and taking is nothing but an exchange of energy. So the moment you understand that, thereafter your focus will always be on creating a positive exchange of energy, not a negative exchange of energy. When you are gossiping about someone, what happens? What are you giving to the other person? Information, something negative. Oh, you know what happened? You know what that person did? The way, the bhavana with which some people gossip is interesting. Per se, gossip is negative, but I always admire the sincerity with which a person does it. If that same sincerity is applied towards sadhana, that person will quickly reach the infinite. But they will not do that. They are applying it in the wrong area. So when you say, you know what that person did, what you're giving is negative energy, and that person, what is receiving is also negative energy, and what he gives back, whatever you get back, see, the cause effect will be there. Again, that becomes negative. So the moment you see the play of energy in every transaction of your life, thereafter your focus will shift to how to make it positive. So what inputs am I taking? Let them be positive. What outputs am I giving? What am I contributing? Let that also become positive. Your entire focus will shift towards creating positive energy. So this principle of exchange of energy is such a beautiful principle which you can pick up and you can start applying. When I say you can start applying, in terms of perceiving your own life, it will cause tremendous purification. Number one. Number two, a rajasic person, I told you, he has that ego, I am the doer attitude. A sattvic person has no ego when he is taking or giving. See, when you see it as an exchange of energy, now you are going beyond the act of giving or taking. You are getting connected to the higher aspects of life, the higher energies. Thereafter, you will not have the ego when you are taking. You will not have that kartrutva bhavana, the I am the doer attitude when you are giving also. You will just keep flowing with the energy, Every transaction creates a beautiful energy flow, and you will just slide into that and not spoil the whole thing by bringing your kartritva bhavana, I am the doer attitude. So when you don't have that I am the doer attitude, you will not get stressed, you will not get tense. So in every transaction, a sattvic person will be very relaxed. See, sometimes an experience will require you to focus in an intense way. That is difference. Intensity in focus is different and being relaxed is different. You will still do it in a very relaxed way. Example, Lord Krishna. He was actually the mastermind of all the strategies which the Pandavas were implementing in the world war. So he was very focused, extremely intense, but at the same time 100% relaxed. How? Because there is no kartritva bhavana, there is no I am the doer attitude. So a sattvic person goes on contributing. The first thing which a sant contributes is in terms of the higher energy. He will keep on emitting the infinite energy to everyone. But is there an ego? No. That is why when people come and ask me, sir, can you teach us, many people have asked me this, can you teach us healing? I always ask them, why do you want to learn healing? So that I can become a healer. I say no. Then that will become a mere worldly transaction. It will only boost your ego. People will say, oh, great miracles are being performed by you. You are a great healer and all that. So what? What have you achieved spiritually? A sant also, his presence will heal everyone. But he never considers himself as a healer. He never considers himself as anyone. Yogi, master, guru, healer, all these things are what people may report. That is, people may consider him as all that. But the focus of a sant is always the infinite. If you ask him, who is a real yogi? He will say God. Who is a real healer? God. Who is a real guru? God. One answer only. Because that is the truth. So absolutely no ego. When you take it to that extreme, 100%, you become a sthita prajna. A sthita prajna functions in life externally just like anyone else. He will be in the process of either giving or taking. But internally, there will be no ego, no kartritva bhavana at all. He will take without considering himself as a taker. He will give without considering himself as a giver. This is the higher aspect. See, the moment you get into that state, then you have moved from unselfishness to selflessness. Selflessness doesn't mean no taking and all that. It only means no ego when you are taking or giving. It's all a play of the infinite. That's what they call, they called it as Bhagavan's Leela. The Leela. Leela means play. Play of God. So for a yogi, supposing you go and give him a lot of wealth, he will, supposing he chooses to accept it. Now, what will be his bhavana? His bhavana will be, the infinite has given him that through you. He'll be very grateful. Similarly, when the yogi is giving something to someone, What is it? What will be his bhavana? I am giving. He'll never have that. The infinite is giving that person through this person, that's all. He will not even have the bhavana of through me. Because me also there is an ego, no? Even that he will not have. I am talking of the inner feeling, the inner bhavana which a yogi has. He will see himself as how you see a third person, objectivity to its peak. So this is a further higher state. So first is, the lowest is selfishness, then you have unselfishness which is sattva. Rajas is in between. You're kind of calculative, you're not completely selfish nor are you unselfish also. You take and give and you're calculating. But you enter the realm of sattva when you start becoming unselfish in a conscious way. But then that is not the end. You go on progressing till you lose that ego of giving also. Everything is God and God alone. That is a very powerful state to get in. Very difficult to conceive that. But to whatever extent you are able to conceive, that will uplift you. So these are the two important ways by which you can purify this these two transactions of giving and taking. So when you purify both, what happens? The principle of parasparam is at work. You are performing yajna. And when you perform yajna, what are you doing? You are doing karma yoga. Your karma action helps you to unite. Yoga means union, no? Unite with the self, with the higher self. That is karma yoga. See, I'm only explaining how all these things are interrelated. We are studying it part by part, and then when you put all the pieces together, it's a beautiful picture which is formed. So you need to start applying this in every aspect of your life. So in that exchange of energy, if it is not balanced, supposing you are taking more than what you are contributing in terms of quality. Quantity also you can measure, but more than quantity, it is a quality I am talking of. Then that will create a lot of karmic debts. I am introducing that principle now. We will go into more detail. In Sanskritam, the word is called rina. Rina means debt. So the yogis said you have what is called as karma rina, the karmic debts. And you need to create what is called as karmic surplus if you want your life to be wonderful. And then of course the highest state is you go beyond debts and surplus, which is selflessness. So a selfless person will incidentally also be creating a lot of karmic surplus, but without any ego. He will enjoy everything in life in a detached way. So why is it that, see, when he says the virtuous who eat the remnants of sacrifice, so the accent is on giving, I said. No, why is the accent on giving? Because we have already taken so much. Right from birth we are only taking. There is so much of rina or debts which we have created. What are the different, our rishis have listed down what are the main types of rina, the main types of debts which we have, and if we focus on neutralizing them, we can completely come out of this karmic cycle. We can create a tremendous karmic surplus in our life. We will see that as we go into the depth of these principles. But first of all, you have to understand this in a gentle way. It's all nothing but the exchange of energy, and when the exchange of energy, when that exchange is positive, it creates a karmic surplus. When that exchange is negative, it creates a karmic deficit. So when you are functioning in the world, the first thing which you should think about is, let me not create a karmic deficit. I'll give you various examples, then it will become very clear. Now, you have your parents. When we were born, we were unable to do anything by ourselves. The mother, parents in general, they took care of us. Therefore, when the parents age and when they require help, it becomes our natural obligation to take care of them. This is the karmic cycle. See, how were the duties derived? It is said, no, in the Bhagavad Gita, you should do your duties. How do you first of all derive the duties? What am I supposed to do in life? This is one of the factors. Based on the karmic debts, you can easily know what your duties are. So we are indebted to our parents the moment we are born. So the system of taking care of the parents came because of a deep understanding of the rina, the debts. Again, this is only an example. I will give you the different types of rina and all that in the coming sessions. But these examples will help you first to understand the basics in a deep way. Thereafter, when I tell you, it will be very easy for you to absorb that. So when you are in the process of doing your duties in life, when you are in the process of removing your karmic debts, see, that's how a sattvic person looks at it. Every time he gives, he doesn't take the position of egoistic giver, I am giving, no. He says, I am serving. That's a bhavana which he has. Why? Because it's an opportunity for me to remove my karmic debts. Right now the speaker is explaining all this. What should be the right approach? I am great, knowledgeable, I am giving. Isn't it a meaningless attitude? How it has to be viewed is, here are some people who are receiving this wisdom and God has given this opportunity to serve them. That is how every yogi looks at it. When you serve, you actually you keep on removing your karmic debts and you keep creating karmic surplus. So you should start serving your parents. You should start serving your spouse. Same thing with respect to husband and wife. There has to be an exchange of energy between partners. You should start serving your children. I am deliberately using the word serving because the complexion of that experience itself will change. You may ask, sir, if I am only serving, now what about my needs? That's why I said the giving and taking will have to be balanced. The serving can be sustainable, can be sustained only if there is a taking also. All those basics I have already explained. So the moment I say service, I am sure you will understand it in the right spirit. So why did they say serve your, serve your parents, serve everyone, serve your guru. Finally they said serve God. That is the highest state where you consider everything as a service towards God. It is based on this principle of karmic debts and karmic surplus. So even when it comes to the transaction between a student, that is a spiritual student and a spiritual master, last week I was explaining, I just mentioned it casually, immediately 2-3 people have asked for various explanations. That is why I am covering this. See, when they said it has to be a beautiful exchange of energy. If it is one-sided, only the guru is giving, student is not doing anything, there will be no benefit. Or in reverse, only the student is doing, the guru is just happily sleeping. Some people, they only have titles of gurus, but such a person is actually not a real guru. Then also there will be no exchange of energy. So this exchange of energy is what they called as Guru Dakshina and all that. So I told you, Dakshina generally means fees, but it also means offering. So when it is done, when it is offered to a guru, it is called an offering out of gratitude. Because a guru is so selfless and he keeps on giving, the accent is on giving, he is giving the infinite. So in whatever way something can be repaid, it is done. That is called a Guru Dakshina. If the student doesn't do it with that spirit, there is no use, no benefit. Actually, they went into a lot of depth. Our yogis have given 3 types of Guru Dakshinas. It's very interesting. It will help you to gain clarity. First type they said, that is called Raja Dakshina. What is Raja Dakshina? In the good old days, the kings who were the rulers, they used to go to the yogis and take care of their needs. They used to ask the yogis, what do you want, sir, practically? And the yogis will say, I want this, even without asking, all the needs they used to take care. That is called Raja Dakshina. That is their giving part. So what did they used to take in return? The guru, the yogi used to call the king and his immediate family, the queen, and he used to specially give them healing and bless them. Why? Because the king and queen, they are the rulers. So if they receive this higher energy, if they receive the special blessing, the entire country will be benefited. See, imagine if the ruler is dharmic, righteous, who are the beneficiaries? The whole country, everyone else. So this was called Raja Guru Dakshina. So again you see, there is a giving, there is a taking. It is not partiality towards the king because he gave a special session to the king because he gave. It's not that. It is because that is going to serve a larger cause. That's why the great yogis accepted that. Then the next type they called it as Chhatra Guru Dakshina or Vidyarthi Guru Dakshina. Chhatra Guru Dakshina, Chhatra means student. So that is applicable for people who used to go every now and then to the master, learn something and then get on with their life. So they never used to live with a master, but every now and then go learn and come back. That is called Chhatra Guru Dakshina. In that, the rule which they had kept is that the Chhatra, the Vidyarthi means one who is seeking knowledge. That person should have a lot of gratitude. If the gratitude is not there, then the master should not accept. This is a rule which has been given. So, the first from the master's side, the master has to give selflessly, no expectations whatsoever. From the student's side, whatever the student can with a good bhavana, they repay. That is called Chhatra Guru Dakshina. In the Raja Guru Dakshina, the Guru should give special healing to that couple, or it may be one person or a group of people, so that the larger cause is benefited. Similarly, as far as the king and queen they are concerned, they are supposed to, they are like sponsors, in a modern sense of the term, take care of all the needs. Then the third type is called Shishya Guru Dakshina, where when a student approaches a master and gets training or gets an empowerment, then we cannot apply this rule. In Chhatra Guru Dakshina, the student can give whatever he or she can with the bhavana. But in Shishya Guru Dakshina, the rule is that the Guru has to decide what the student has to give, because only then the karmic debts can be neutralized. So the Guru will say, you give this, you give me this. The student needs to fulfill that. And the Guru will have his own way of analyzing the karmas and asking for that which will uplift the student. That is the beauty. So if a person has a lot of value for money, for example, and he comes to the Guru and asks, he may say, you go and fetch me so much of wealth, then I'll teach you. No, it's not that he has those expectations. The student has to overcome that weakness, no? Only then he can move up to the next level. Supposing he finds the person has no value for wealth, but he has value for name and fame, then the Guru will say, you go and do this kind of service, where he has to get down and do certain activities, that he will find it very difficult. You do all that as my Guru Dakshina and you come, I'll teach you. Various methods are there. The principle is based on the principle of exchange of energy. This is what I want you to understand. So whether it is a transaction between the Guru and the student, whether it is a transaction between the parents and the children, the moment you look at it as the exchange of energy, that is where you create this opportunity to remove your karmic debts. Whether it is a relationship between an employer and an employed. When you work for a company, you should give your best. The taking is also there. Then that experience will create a karmic surplus for you. Now I know what you will ask. So supposing I am giving my best, but my company is not paying me well, you are still creating a karmic surplus. So what will happen is, after a while, either you will become very well recognized, you will be promoted there, the company will be forced to give you more, or you will get a better offer and you may move on. I have seen this happen in with many people, So always focus on creating this karmic surplus in every transaction. Actually, I have seen some of the great masters, they encourage the students to do more seva, more service, so that that karmic surplus is created in their lives. Otherwise, any true yogi, he would prefer, if you ask a preference, he would prefer to be alone, just by himself, fully happy, always, attuned to the infinite. What else is there in life? There is nothing more, no. So in one of the verses, that's Krishna will be talking about who is, what are the good qualities of a student and what are the good qualities of a guru, and how when they meet there is a spark of wisdom, tremendous flame, I would say, of wisdom. And in that, he says a guru should be well versed in the scriptures and should also have the practical experience, all that. When we come to that verse, we'll see it in detail. Similarly, when it comes to the student, he says pranipatena, which means complete surrender. That is giving at the emotional level. And then pariprashnena means questioning. Surrender doesn't mean blind faith. One should have that quest. One should, wherever you're unable to understand, what is preventing you from asking and clarifying? It's the ego, because if I ask, everybody will come to know of my ignorance. That ego should not be there. Then how will you learn? How will the student learn? And then sevayaha, he says, service. So all these are actually given, built in the spirit of exchange of energy. So similarly, they said when you're functioning in a family, give love and receive love. You're receiving something. Otherwise, that family cannot sustain itself. That relationship cannot sustain. So whether it is a relationship between parents and you say, I'll put you in the center. Then it becomes very simple. You and your parents, you and your children, you and your spouse, that is your partner, you and your boss, you and your employees who are working under you, you and your guru. Whatever be the nature of relationship, ensure that the exchange of energy is well balanced and positive. Just practice it and see the result which it will give you in your life. Tremendous. When you perfect in all this, okay, guru alone we leave it separately, because the guru is very, the relationship with the guru takes you towards God. So we can classify that as pure spirituality. But I'm talking about in all the worldly transactions, when you practice this principle of exchange of energy and you perfect that, then you will get that capacity to practice this exchange of energy with respect to God, the infinite. You will give everything, you will surrender everything to God. As they say, tan, man, everything, your body consciousness, your mind, everything is surrendered. Even Sri Hari Dhyana, in that last portion that has been sung, no? Kayena vacha manasendriyairva buddhyatmana va prakrite swabhava karomi yadyat sakalam parasmai narayanayeti samarpayami. Narayana means the infinite, represents the infinite. Everything, kaya, kayena vacha, kaya means body, vacha means speech, kayena vacha manasendriyairva, manasa, your mind, the indriya, the senses, like that it goes on, Buddhyatmanava, buddhi, the intellect. Everything I surrender to you, O infinite. And what do I get back in return? That infinite energy, that unconditional love. So a yogi, that's how he achieves the union with God. It's the same principle of exchange of energy only. He does yajna with the infinite. He surrenders everything to that infinite. He surrenders his ego, and what he receives is that infinite healing energy 24/7. If you want to reach that level, first you should start with your worldly transactions. What are your worldly transactions? Your parents. That is your family. And I'm only splitting it up further. Your parents, your partner, the spouse, your children, where you're working. See, they say work is worship. No, your workplace is your temple. So you will have a boss, you will have people under you. Everywhere there has to be a proper exchange of energy. Then your friends. You can go on adding, more according to your particular lifestyle. And then with respect to the Guru, we can't classify Gurus as worldliness. So we can put it in between. That which the Guru is one who connects you and God. So somewhere in between. So there also you need to practice. If you go on perfecting this, what will happen? One day you will gain complete mastery over this principle of exchange of energy, and you can simply use that to get connected with the infinite. In deep meditation, you give away everything. You give away your body consciousness, you give your emotions, you give your thoughts, everything. You give your entire ego to the infinite. And what will you receive? You will receive the highest energy, the highest healing Shakti. So there will be the divine exchange of energy between you and the infinite. A sant is constantly in that union. A sthita prajna is one who is established in that union. That I told you last week itself. The difference between a sant and a sthita prajna is not one of a kind. It is one of a degree. That's all. When it becomes 100%, 100% sant we call as a sthita prajna. So this is a very powerful principle, the principle of exchange of energy. So we'll stop with that today. You think about it. You write down, make your notes, you write down your points, and then reflect deeply on these points. As you absorb them, see how you can apply them. So if you first do that homework, when you start this process, then when I give you what are the different types of rina, the debts which you have, that will give you a lot of clarity. The different classifications. So based on the different types of rinas, we can derive the different types of yajnas also. That also they have done. Our yogis have gone into the depth of this so that the life, the quality of life can be enhanced infinite times. So, the very basis of the principle of exchange of energy, see, this point alone you should remember, is love and gratitude. Only then the karmic debts can be removed. If you are giving something to your parents, it should be out of gratitude and love. If you are giving something to your spouse, it should be out of gratitude and love. Similarly to your children. Similarly, working for your company. Same thing with respect to your guru also. It's an offering with gratitude. Then when you come to that stage where you offer everything to God, it will be out of total unconditional love, which is what is called as devotion, and full gratitude and awareness. So then you will attain enlightenment. So don't keep taking all kinds of inputs. See, if you really want to benefit, actually you're getting the highest, you're getting the best. This yogic approach has been kept a secret. Now that is being revealed to you. You actually don't require anything more for your spiritual evolution. Just focus on this. Master this. Since you're attending these sessions regularly, I'm taking the liberty of telling you this, just for your benefit. I want to read this book, I want to read that, all that in the initial stage is okay. But like a bee, which once it locates a flower which has honey, it knows it has honey. Now after it starts tasting the honey, it will not go to any other flower. Similarly, you may look here, look there. Now you have come to the yogic approach. You've hit the nail on the head, you've got the essence. So now you have to just focus on going into the depth here. Not go for length of study and quantity and all that. Stick to this. Stick to the yogic approach. Surrender fully. Gain the wisdom and see the results in your life. Okay, so now we'll do the Nididhyasana meditation. I'm preparing you further for the blast of energy next week, the intense sadhana of Guru Purnima, the yogic sadhana. So gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. With every breath, I am becoming more and more relaxed. Feel the divine vibrations. With every breath, I am going deeper and deeper into myself. Beyond my physical body, beyond my emotions, beyond my thoughts, lies my essential self. My higher self is infinite and divine. I choose to completely surrender to the Guru Shakti. I choose to do my daily sadhana with a pure bhavana. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Wriggle your fingers, your toes, open and close your palms a few times. Rub your palms together to create a warmth. And cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, your cheeks, forehead, the top of your head, the back of your head, your neck, and slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. So in today's session, we saw this powerful principle of exchange of energy. When you master this principle, you will start burning up all your karmas. The karmic deficits and all will go away. A lot of surplus will be created. And when there is a lot of karmic surplus, you will start attracting positive things into your life. Your capacity to materialize your goals will start increasing. Okay? So next week, next Sunday, we are having the yogic sadhana of Guru Purnima. So we all invoke the Guru Shakti and we get connected to the Guru Shakti. It's very easy to get connected to the Guru Shakti during this month, the Guru Purnima period. It's like, going down the inclined plane. Minimum efforts you can just go. Similarly, just with a little bit of effort, you can easily get connected. That doesn't mean, I'm not saying put little efforts. I'm only saying, I don't know what each one understands. I'm only saying this, the soil is very conducive. So it's easy to, put our seeds and grow the trees. So this week, do your sadhana, daily sadhana, sincerely. A lot of healing is being given to you. For several weeks now, the preparatory healing energy has been given to you, and that will be intensified this week. That's why even today's Nididhyasana meditation was focused on preparing you for the next session, the yogic sadhana of Guru Purnima. So Guru Purnima celebration doesn't mean you just simply, meet the Guru, take his blessings. It's not like that. It is getting connected to the Guru Shakti. And when you get connected to the Guru Shakti, what will happen? The Guru Shakti will get you connected to the infinite. That is what is the true yogic sadhana of Guru Purnima. And as you advance further, I'll be teaching you more subtle techniques, subtle sadhanas, even with respect to the yogic sadhana of Guru Purnima. There are further higher advanced sadhanas are there. But one has to be ready for that. A lot of purification has to take place. Otherwise, that energy blast will be very difficult to handle, So this week, do your sadhana properly, and every day before you start your sadhana, offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the Gurus, that is the Guru Shakti. And then after you finish your sadhana, again bow down, surrender, offer your gratitude to the Guru. Now this practice will really help you, will prepare you to receive the energy blast next Sunday. Same time, I think all the details have been given to you already. It's there out in the website, and you would have also seen that. So come with a very pure bhavana. If you do your sadhana sincerely, that purity will automatically benefit. See, the exchange of energy between a guru and a student, in the real sense of the term, is at the spiritual level. The guru gives the higher energy, Shakti. That has to be received, no? And when it comes to the emotions, the guru gives unconditional love. And what the student gives back is the gratitude. See, that is the purity. You have to come to that level of purity. A true master patiently waits till the student comes up to that level of purity. Because only when you step up to that level of purity, more and more can be given. The higher science, it's an infinite science, So much is there to learn. Okay, so I'll see you next week in the yogic sadhana of Guru Purnima. So thank you very much. Hari Om.